Hey guys! Welcome to Culture Therapy. I'm Esther Chadad, your multicultural psychologist, and today I want to talk about the love languages. Now let's get right to it. In the spirit of Valentine's Day, I thought that I would give you guys a therapist's opinion about the 5 love languages. So if you've been interested in relationships in general, or reading a little bit about improving relationships, you may have come across the 5 love languages by Dr. Gary Chapman. These 5 love languages are ways we express emotions and the ways we come to expect people to communicate that love back to us. And they're outlined and demonstrated by Dr. Gary Chapman in the book, The 5 Love Languages. So full disclaimer, I have not read any of the books. This is just an opinion from the perspective of a therapist, and it's based on some online research that I did about the book and opinions of people that have read the book, that have followed the book, and that have thought that it helped them or didn't help them. And because I heard of how much people actually like the books and how much the books have helped them a lot, I had decided to go on the internet and do a little bit of research about it myself. So I took a dive into the internet to formulate an opinion about the author and about the concepts that I read on the official website and give you guys a sort of subjective opinion about it. So here's my take on the 5 love languages. So when I first started to look into this, I wanted to know who the author is. So Dr. Gary Chapman published the first book titled The 5 Love Languages, The Secret to Love That Lasts in 1992, and that explains what the 5 love languages are and how to understand them and speak them to your partner. This book was then followed by a series of books tailored to more specific situations due to popular demand, like, for example, the book The 5 Love Languages of Children or The 5 Love Languages for Men. There's even one for singles. So he seems to have written several books about relationships and marriages. So who is this guy? So a quick search on Wikipedia explains that Dr. Gary Chapman has done studies in anthropology and then furthered his studies with a Master's of Religious Education and a PhD in Family Education. He is now a part of the Calvary Baptist Church and is helping families and couples through relationship problems. He certainly wasn't educated in couples counseling, but his work with couples and families has led him to observing certain patterns of behavior that he explains could be 5 love languages. And the official website of the 5 love languages explains the extent of his work. He also provides resources to help people with apologizing, with managing their anger, and even understanding the workplace dynamic. You'll find the link to the official website down below so you can actually check it out. But for now, let's get into what the 5 love languages are. So the 5 love languages are as follows: words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. And according to the website, here is how they are defined. First off, words of affirmations are words that build up your partner instead of putting them down. Like, for example, telling them I love you and showing gratitude to them for something that they did. Quality time is about giving your partner attention and undivided attention. So that means the TV is off and you are just talking to each other. Gift giving isn't necessarily as much about how expensive the gift is as it is about the message it sends, and it's supposed to show thoughtfulness and care and attention. Acts of service are about doing something that your partner would have wanted done, and it usually revolves around activities like chores. And last but not least, physical touch is about holding hands, hugging, kissing, sexual intercourse, or basically anything under the umbrella of expressing physical affection. Dr. Chapman has a main premise according to the books, and that is that the couple, each individual in the couple, needs to know their own love language and needs to express that love language to their partner so that their partner is aware of how they want to be loved. And then it's basically about matching your love languages so that each partner is speaking the love language of the other so that each individual in the couple feels heard and loved and understood. He claims that relationships are happier if the love languages of both people in the couple are aligned or matched, and ones where the love languages don't really match are relationships that are a bit more rocky or that are prone to having a lot of conflict in them. Now, as a therapist, I have some praise and some reservations about these claims by Dr. Chapman. Just so you know, I really haven't read any of the books. This is a completely subjective opinion, but I do want to get into reasons why I do like it and why I don't like this book, and that is from the perspective of thinking about a potential resource that I would like to give my clients. So if I'm receiving a client in couples therapy, what kind of books would I tell them to read or things to look at that could actually be helpful for them? So here's my opinion from the perspective of a therapist. First of all, here's what I like about it. I definitely agree with the premise that each individual within the couple has their own way of communicating love. Whether or not this way of communication is shown in love languages per se, but we definitely do have different ways of expressing and showing love and receiving love. And it's very important that the couple be able to be open and to talk about these different ways, because these different ways of loving come from many different factors. One factor, for example, is how the people in the couple grew up seeing their parents loving each other. What kind of how environment they had around them. When they see how affection is modeled by their parents, they tend to take that, what they saw, and then bring it into their current relationships as adults. Also, relationship experience changes how you express and receive love. For example, people who have been through abusive relationships won't be expressing, showing, and receiving love in the same way before or after that experience. So there's a lot of factors that actually make people very different in how they express love. And often, one of the main reasons of conflict in a couple is that every individual in the couple tends to forget that the other person is different. And so in a couple, we kind of expect the other person, because they love us, they should know how to love us and how to express that love to us. And we need to always remember that that is not true. It doesn't mean that the person, our significant other, doesn't love us, but it just means that they have a different way of showing it. And I'm not even going to discuss abusive behaviors and these things, because that's a topic for another video. But just in regards to how people generally express affection, not everyone is different. Everyone's history is different, and it's important that the couples be open to discussing these things, to listening to each other about them, and then try to apply themselves to better understand and be flexible in the relationship about how to express and receive love. That's always going to be a good skill to have in a relationship. Now on to the thing that I don't really like, and probably the main thing that makes me not want to recommend Dr. Chapman's works as potential resources to my clients. And that main reason is that as a psychologist, I have to uphold the quality of the service that I provide by only providing services that are well researched and that have some form of empirical validity to them. The problem with Dr. Chapman's work is that there's very little research on it, and there is actually research that says that it really doesn't matter whether or not your relationships, your love languages, they will align or not in regards to how happy you are in your relationship. So a study in 2017 by Blunt and Hazelwood from Queenstown University of Technology in Australia tried to study how, whether or not the alignment of the love languages between the two individuals of the couple, or if basically they try to match each other's love languages, actually mattered in regards to how happy people were with their relationship. And what they found was that the couples that had aligned their love languages were no happier than the ones that had a misalignment of love languages. So essentially, there wasn't a significant difference, so it didn't really matter that much. However, an interesting finding was that in couples that did have a mismatch, their relationship happiness tended to improve when the woman adapted her love languages to her partner's love language. So maybe further research is needed on why that's a thing, but generally the empirical evidence, at least from this one study that I saw, didn't really match it. And other than that, it's really difficult to find research on it that actually validates this theory. And so since this concept of the 5 love languages and aligning the 5 love languages makes your relationship happier, it doesn't really hold up to empirical evidence and to like scientific validity, and therefore it wouldn't be a book that I would recommend as an ultimate truth kind of thing that's going to save your relationship to people in couples therapy. So just to sum up, I think that Dr. Chapman's overarching idea of the fact that individuals in the couple need to talk about their communication styles openly and how they express love openly is a great premise. I love it, and something that we definitely work on in couples therapy. However, seeing as whether or not you align your love languages, or even if these love languages do like exist in that form per se, is a little bit debatable. I wouldn't actually recommend this book as a resource during therapy. It's a cool self-help book if your relationship troubles are really just based in communication and it's kind of rocky and you're just trying to understand each other. But if you are in couples therapy for serious issues in your relationship, I wouldn't be recommending this book. If you want to read the book yourself and form your own judgment about it, I have linked the official website down below. I have also left the article that I have quoted here, also in the description box down below. But that's all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to click the like button if you did like this video, and click subscribe for more content on culture and psychology. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!